Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we are here at the beautiful Hoboken High School, located at 800 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And we've been off the air for like 2.5 months. And the first thing that happened was I got called to the principal's office because joining us is the fabulous principal here at Hoboken High School, Robin Piccapietra, or better known as Miss Pick. Miss Pick, it's so great to have you on the show.
Oh my God, Peter, I was wondering when this interview was going to take place.
Tell me about it.
I know.
You're always so intimidating, so, I needed to brace myself for 2.5 months.
I've been waiting, and we're here, so I'm excited.
I absolutely love it.
I'm excited.
Well, you have done a phenomenal job here at Hoboken High School in the last 13 years as principal, and she's only 27. Could you imagine? But Miss Pick, one of the things that we do want to talk about as we sit in front of all of these universities where your students from last year's graduating class have been accepted to, I mean, you almost need a bigger wall.
I know we do.
Is your advanced placement classes. In your 13 years, how far have your AP classes come?
It's amazing, and you don't realize how far they've come until you actually put it on paper. You know, when you're working in the school and you're doing your day-to-day and year-to-year work, you are just going through it, right? But then when you put it all together and you look, it's astounding, the growth we've shown. I mean, I could quote a couple of numbers for you.
Absolutely, we love numbers.
You know, when we started out with our AP in around 2000, we were an IB school, I should say.
I remember that.
You remember that? And then I think in around 2013, we switched to AP, Advanced Placement. And we started with, we always had a generous amount of offerings in this, we wanted to make it accessible to everyone. And so we offered a lot, probably 10, 11 courses. And over the course of the years, some classes might have 4 or 5, some might have 20. As of today at Hoboken High School, we are offering 20 AP courses in anywhere from science to English to math. This is our first year offering AP Calculus BC, which is amazing. We never thought we would get there, but with math moving down to 8th grade algebra. Some kids are taking algebra in 7th grade. They're coming to the high school already, ready to take algebra 2 so they can be prepared for the advanced placement calculus BC.
And this is college credit that these students are receiving before they're in college. And with the IB program, that wasn't the case.
Right.
So, and for this program to expand the way it has, Ms. Pick, and I guess it's a testament to the number of students you have here who qualify for these classes, correct?
Absolutely. And one of my philosophies has always been, if a student wants to challenge themselves in AP, I am never going to say no. I am always going to give them that opportunity, whether they're the greatest student or they're the middle of the road student. Sometimes all you need to do is spark that interest in a child. And so I encourage that. We have, last year, I think we tested over 186 AP exams at the end of the year. One of our biggest additions to our AP program has been our AP Capstone program.
Wow.
So that is really, when you look about the college credit and preparing students for college, that is the arena.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That just means that you're doing a phenomenal job, and like the sounds are sounding over here. All right, Ms. Pick, well, as you can hear, we are out of time. So we are going to speak to one of your students and, of course, one of your directors of guidance. Coordinators. I knew I was going to screw up that name when she comes on. Miss Stacie Gleason. Congratulations. This has just been phenomenal.
Thank you.
How far you've come, and I hope to see you on this show again.
I would love to be there.
Exactly, not because I'm in trouble. Thanks again, Ms. Pick.
Thank you.
All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to have a student and a coordinator right after this break. All right, as promised, we're here with a senior here at Hoboken High School, Madison Walia-Peters. Madison, welcome to the Pulse.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Why don't you discuss for the audience some of the advanced placement classes you've been taking here?
So over the course of the 4 years I've been in high school, I've taken a total of 15 AP courses. And Throughout them, I've learned like so many skills. Like the most specific one that I can think of is I took AP Research last year, and it was so valuable. Through the course of the year, I was able to write a paper, which I'm hoping to get published in Columbia's Scientific Journal for Students. And I know many other students in AP Research are planning to do the same thing. So it just shows how much of opportunity we're able to get through these AP courses that otherwise wouldn't be possible in high school.
Well, we are hiring a new resident political analyst because Josh is terrible. So, I mean, somebody with 45 credits under their belt before they go to college, is certainly in line for that job. As you mentioned, you kind of mentioned this in your first answer. Hoboken High School prepared you for that. Do you feel that you have an advantage because Hoboken High School offers this many AP courses as compared to possibly somebody else going to another high school going into college?
I honestly do, frankly, just because of the course rigor when we're in high school. We're like, throughout these 4 years in high school, we've been accustomed to having a huge course load. And by doing so, when we go to college, we'll be able to like adapt to that much more quickly. And I feel like that's really important because college is also about having fun. It's also about having a good experience and networking. So I just think that having this much of AP credits and AP classes in high school is really important in order to make college a better experience for all of us. And Hoboken High School did a great job of doing that.
I could tell. Absolutely phenomenal. Madison, congratulations. Best of luck in your senior year. Like you
Thank
said,
you.
have fun. Our videographer, Leslie, told you have fun like 16 times before the segment started. So thank you for your time and
Thank
best of
you.
luck going forward. Thank you again. All right, folks, more right after this. All right, as promised, we're now here with the coordinator of guidance services here at Hoboken High School, and that's Miss Stacie Gleason. Miss Gleason, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, you sound excited, as am I. So, Miss Gleason, earlier in the segment, Miss Pick went over an overview of the program, and of course, Madison, who I'm still impressed with,
Incredible.
my jaw's still on the ground here,
Incredible.
did a phenomenal job of explaining her type of courses that she took, all 15 of them, that she took here. I was wondering if you want to expand on the type of AP courses that are offered here at Hoboken High School.
Of course, of course. We have so many in all different subjects. So, from AP African American History to AP Psychology, AP Calc. In my 11 years, we went from offering, a small handful of AP classes to now offering over 20 in person. We have students who come and who have interests outside of what we can offer, and we always find a way for them to be able to take that course. We never want to have a student not have access to that. So we're really good at figuring out what a student needs and making sure it fits their educational journey the best that they need. The one great thing too about our AP courses, I think, aside from the content that they learn, is the skills that they have throughout the courses. So, they are learning organization, they're learning time management, they're learning research and analysis, all things that are just as important in high school as it is in college and beyond. These are life skills that they're learning outside of the actual work that they're and content area that they're learning.
And that's fabulous here. And we mentioned earlier in the segment, Ms. Pick, these are all the universities right behind us that last year seniors got accepted to.
Correct.
And it was phenomenal. I joked with her that we needed a bigger wall back there.
Next year.
Exactly. You've been here 11 years, you
Yes.
said, and she's still so young.
Yeah.
So the program has certainly extended from 11 years ago to where it is today. Why do you believe it's growing?
I think because of the access that we're giving students, right? And I think the breadth of what we're offering, the students we have at Hoboken High School are extremely motivated from every type of student. We have students, which I'm sure Ms. Pick will tell you, who want to challenge themselves, and we will allow them to take an AP course because we never want to have a student not have access to that amount of rigor, an opportunity to earn college credits when they go to college. Essentially, they could earn 3 credits upon taking the AP exam and scoring a 3, 4, or 5. In addition to the college credits, just the rigor that it presents on the transcript when they're applying to college, which the amount of AP courses have led our students to be accepted to the the amount of schools and, in addition, the amount of scholarship money that our AP students have raised, on their behalf throughout the 4 years that they're here. It's incredible. They're doing really amazing work.
And do you know the amount of scholarship money? I'm just curious.
So last year we were over $17.1 million in institutional funding.
And institutional funding. And how many students was that?
We had about 105 last year, but every year that number is growing.
Continue to grow.
Absolutely.
But it just goes to show you, 105 students for $17.1 million. I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal. Congratulations.
Thank
we are
you
out of
so
time,
much.
unfortunately.
Thank you.
We hope to see you on a future show. Maybe we could talk about more AP courses that are being offered. And
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course, Ms. Gleason. Thank you so much. All right, folks, from Hoboken High School, located at 800 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey, we will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B. and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Welcome back. I'm your host with the most on this segment of The Pulse Without That Bum, Peter B. And I'm so glad to be joined by my friend, Natalia Ioffe, who's a member of the Board of Trustees of the Jersey City Educational System.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you so much for having me on your show again. It's a pleasure as always. And today I'm not here as a board member necessarily. I'm here as a candidate who's up for re-election. So I'm supposed to say that nothing that I say here today is on behalf of the school board. So I'm here as a candidate and, who's hoping to be re-elected onto the Jersey City School Board.
Well, nothing I say here is on behalf of anybody other than myself, and half the time I'm not even sure about that. So tell us, how is the campaign going?
Campaign's going very well. I'm happy to say that I personally received the endorsement of New Jersey, Elect Women New Jersey, which is really cool. It's a fairly new group. I think it's for a few years, and they support women, independent and not necessarily independent women who are running for public office in the state of New Jersey. So it's a great honor. And as a group, I'm running with two amazing people, which if you let me, I'd love to talk about them.
Please do.
Together, we have the support of the Jersey City Educational Association, which is the local teachers union, whom we love, which is our teachers. I'm running, so we're on the ballot already. My number is 3J in the school board, little box. And I'm running with two people, Ahmed Khair, whose number is 4J, and Melanie Cruz Burgos, whose number is 5J. And so Ahmed is, you guys know me, so I don't have to talk about me. I'm a parent. I raise my kids in the public school system. I myself am a product of the public school system. I've been around this community, Jersey City community, for a long time. And I've been serving on the board for the one term. And one of my greatest dreams has been to establish some kind of a source of nonprofit revenues for our school district, because one of our biggest problems continues to be the underfunding of schools, the cuts by the state, the funding cuts by the state. So I hope to continue just to be able to amplify that dream. The foundation for Jersey City Public Schools has been established. I'm very proud of that fact. Nice. I was happy to be able to facilitate that. And I'm hoping to, two people that I ran with last time decided to not go for re-election. So I had an opportunity to join with two brand new people, of which Ahmed Khair, who is a fellow parent of Jersey City Public School students. He himself is a product of Jersey City Public Schools.
Very cool.
He came to the United States in 1978. His family is from Egypt. They were one of the early, first immigrant families in Jersey City from Egypt. So that's pretty awesome. He's got
you and your family are also
I'm
immigrant
from Ukraine,
American.
Exactly. So it's perfect for a diverse city such as ours. And he, his passion specifically, for the purpose of this platform is he would love to be able to see more focus on athletics and STEM, because that is something that helped him in life. He's currently the administrative director of clinical and pathology services with RWJ Barnabas.
Mm-hmm.
He basically is a professional in the field of clinical science and research, cancer research. So he does amazing things professionally, as far as I'm concerned. And and he's a dad, so he's fully invested. And also Melanie Cruz Burgos, who is fairly new to Jersey City. She's a resident and a taxpayer and a homeowner, but she originates from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. And before that, she originates from Puerto Rico. So she was serving as a student representative on the Perth Amboy School Board. So she was able to establish herself as a public servant even in a young age.
Oh, very cool.
And today she is a corporate attorney, at the tender age of 31. So she manages close to 60 attorneys, manages their professional development. And her focus, as I understand it, is helping companies who are in financial trouble be restructured and be better. So, which is, all of those skills are absolutely perfect for being on a school board.
Now, you mentioned before that you were endorsed by what was it called, the Women's League?
It's called Elect Women New Jersey. And my understanding is it's a nonprofit group who supports women all over the state of New Jersey who run,
Very cool.
whether they're in contested races or not contested races, just encouraging women to run.
I'm half woman on my mother's side, so if I run for office, I may holler at them.
You can try.
Now, you also mentioned the helping set up and facilitate the foundation, but what else? What are the other issues in this race with you and your running mates that are compelling you to run again and them to run for the first time?
Well, I think for the both of them, the main goal is to just be able to give back to the community, which, I mean, that desire I just so respect, and I'm so grateful that they've decided to, take that leap, because, Ahmed is a parent, and, he's got 6 children of his own, but and a great career and a family, but despite that, he's choosing to take time out of his own busy life and commitments, huge commitments to help children that are not his.
Mhm.
And that to me is always, I deeply respect that in people. So I'm thankful that he's willing to kind of give back to the system that helped him in life. And the same thing with Melanie. The fact that she is willing to give of herself to these children who need the help, who need the support. And what I also value in both of them is the fact that they are both professionals, corporate professionals at that. And I think that, and not political entities in any way, shape, or form, at least not now. And so the fact that they bring this pure energy, and corporate mindset to the school board. And by corporate, I just mean organized, professional, dignified. And I think that's something that our school board can greatly benefit from.
Also, efficiency might be
Efficiency, organizational skills, respect, all the things that I think any government structure can really benefit from.
Well, that sounds very, very neat. We only have about 2 minutes left. Is there anything you'd like to tell the voters out there for the upcoming Board of Education election in Jersey City?
In Jersey, well, sure, do your research, look us up. I encourage people to really know what they're doing when they vote, and I respect their decision. Ultimately, I think that asking questions is good. Don't fall asleep on a school board ever. Do your research, see who we are, and hopefully you like us. But
I mean, listen, sometimes people elect good leaders, such as yourself, to school board, and then other times, like in Hoboken, Peter Biancamano was elected twice to school board. So sometimes people are asleep when they pull the lever, like for him, and sometimes they're wide awake and they're doing the Lord's work when they vote for you, so just, contrasting.
I'm not going to comment on that at all.
So we talked about your running mates. Are you guys running opposed by an organized slate, or are there independent candidates running against you guys?
So it's very interesting this year. I'm glad you mentioned that. Oftentimes you see a group of 3 versus a group of 3. Presently, we have a group of 2 individuals that are a formed slate that are on the ballot as well, and then we also have 2 independents. So there's a total 7 candidates, and we're just kind of like the block of 3 in the middle.
7 candidates for 3 seats and 1 block of 3 running together.
Correct.
I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a good time. Obviously, nothing should be taken for granted in elections, as we know from the last 2 presidential elections. So it sounds like it's going to be very, very exciting. Final 30 seconds. What are your thoughts on anything?
On anything? Well, listen, I'm just going to ask people to go and vote and register to vote if they haven't already. This is going to be a very important election for a lot of people. And just please don't forget to vote for the school board, because that also, good schools make good communities, and we're going to try and continue keeping taxes low, while still keeping our schools funded, and care about the kids, whether they're ours or not ours.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank you,
coming on.
Josh.
Truly appreciate it, my friends. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse, still here at Hoboken High School, located at 800 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey, and a person who has dedicated his whole life to the working class. I'm so excited about this next guest because of that, is my good friend, Commissioner Bill O'Day, Hudson County Commissioner Bill O'Day, and also running for Jersey City Mayor. Welcome to the show, Mr. O'Day. It's great to see you. The last time you were on, you did an interview with that talentless Josh Sotomayor Einstein, so you have somebody with a lot of talent on set now.
I went from a hospital to a high school.
Amen, exactly. That tells you everything you need to know right there. But the last time you were on, you were hinting at running for mayor,
It's true.
but you've decided that you're going to pull the trigger
Correct.
and run. What
That's
made you
correct.
decide to run?
I visited a local psychiatrist, and he said I was crazy enough to run to be the mayor of Jersey City. No, but seriously, like you said, I've dedicated my life to public service, to the working class, and obviously the current mayor is not running again. I think I have the experience, lifelong Jersey City resident, and I think I'm at a point in my career where I'm willing to walk in there and just do what's right. Not worry about, is this going to make me help or hurt me get reelected? Certainly not going to look about running for any other offices. So I think, this will be the last office I'm going to want to run for, whether it's 1 or 2 terms, and I'm going to make decisions that need to be made, some that are hard decisions. And I'm going to make sure I represent all of Jersey City.
Absolutely. And you've started to build a team to help
Yes.
you make those
Yes.
decisions. From as we sit here today, I think you have announced 4 out of your 9
Correct.
council people that are
Correct.
running on your ticket. I was just wondering briefly if you want to explain the 4
Okay.
people you have announced and why you chose them to run with you.
So Ward A, I'm running Pam Johnson.
Mhm.
She's the head of the Anti-Violence Coalition. In fact, they just received, it may not have been publicly announced yet, but a $1 million grant for mental health services.
Wow.
In light of what happened with Andrew Wright, the state's come up with some funding to do that. So she's been a leader, a lot of community causes. One of the things I laugh about, most of my candidates are a lot like me. And I'm not sure I want 9 people like me on the governing body, but I like people that are independent thinkers and not afraid to voice their thoughts and concerns, and decisions will be made collectively. Then I have in Ward D, Elvin Dominici. He's been a community leader for a number of years. He's got several master's degrees in finance. So I think he's going to surprisingly bring a lot of insight into some of the financial issues. And we've got a lot of them that we're dealing with in Jersey City. At large, I've got 1 current council member, Danny Rivera.
That's right.
Danny's got a strong background on the council, both in public safety, he chairs that committee, but also he's got a long history in recreation. And the last candidate I've announced is Kristen Hart, Zadroga Hart.
Yes.
She corrects me. And Kristen obviously is the leader in the Jersey City Educational Association, but she's also an athletic director at McNair. And recreation is a key issue for me.
Right.
Like, recreation in Jersey City is suffering. The ball fields, the parks have not been given the proper attention. They have not been upgraded. So we need to create more ball fields and more recreation and summer camps. And both Danny and Kristen bring a lot to that.
And I want to add on to that point because the Pompidou plan, you've come out publicly over and over again against it. You said you'd rather take that money and give it to the parks.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you want to elaborate on that for the
So
audience.
the problem with Pompidou is operating it, right? So you can find the money, and there's probably, there is state money that could fund most of the construction or rehabilitation of a building. but operating costs are estimated at $20 to $25 million. And even with revenue, conservative estimates are a $10 million a year shortfall. Now, we're not New York City, because if we were, we'd already be getting the Lefracks and the Jeffries and the Goldman Sachs and the Citigroups to be donating millions of dollars to our causes. We're not doing that. So if somebody thinks they're suddenly going to write $1 million checks every year, I think they're fooling themselves. And if they don't, then who's going to write the check? The city of Jersey City, who's already got an annual operating deficit of close to $100 million.
Wow. Goodness gracious. And how do you plan if you're elected next year? By the way, the election is still 14 months away.
14 months away.
How do you plan on tackling that deficit? Because it looks like Mayor Fulop is kind of just like sweeping that under the rug as of this moment.
I wouldn't say sweeping it under the rug, and I wouldn't throw the blame on him. He didn't start it like for 25, 30 years.
Right.
Mayors have kicked it down the curb, right? You use one-time revenues from land sales. Back in the day, they used to give somebody a tax abatement today for a project for 30 years. Just give me how much money you're going to give me in the first year before you even build the building. So like these gimmicks, right, continue to have been used throughout the time, and it just builds up. And people have told me that one-time amount of revenue in this year's budget was close to $100 million. Like they didn't, like all the tax appeals that were won, they didn't pay people their money back from the operating budget. They floated a 5-year bond to do it, which means as mayor, I'm going to have to make three of those payments.
Absolutely.
There are still issues related to people that, union people that worked during COVID that have not been resolved, that are entitled, they believe, and I believe they probably are, to compensation for time that they worked when others were allowed to stay home and not work, which some estimate is maybe $20 million. So how do I want to deal with it? I think two things. First is on the school side. The city of Jersey City's Board of Ed was robbed of $300 million by the state of New Jersey under the new formula. They punished Jersey City several years ago because we had given out tax abatements. Those tax abatements were years ago, and the state was right on one single point. If a city has to do a tax abatement, then the school board or the Board of Ed should get its share of whatever that pilot revenue is. And that was corrected on the one abatement the city's done. With that resolved, how can the city of Paterson get 4 times as much state aid than Jersey City?
It's unbelievable. That's
Union
incredible.
City gets more than we get. West New York gets more than we
And
get.
I think Union City students is like 300% less or something
Yeah,
like
it's probably,
that.
it's probably like a third of ours. or
Right,
whatever,
right.
So just give us back what we deserve, and we'll address probably 75% of it. And on the city side, a mayor can't walk in and do one budget. A mayor's got to go in and go, let's go through the next 4 years. How do we take 80, 90 million and do 20 million, then 40 million, then 60 million, and 80 million? So, if you give people a reasonable increase, 4%, the mayor of Elizabeth raises taxes every year 3 to 4%, even if he doesn't have to, because his logic is we can budget for 3 to 4% increases. We can't budget for 25% increases. And when you delay making payments, or hey, I'm running for re-election, so I'm going to lower your taxes this year. I'm lowering them this year. I'm going to have to raise them twice as much next year. It's just bad public policy. So looking at it over 4 years, creating a 4-year budget, looking at revenue growth, and then, getting more state aid, and then dealing with the one-time revenue cost with smaller tax increases, I think is probably the answer.
And Commissioner, you mentioned unions before, and
Yes, I'm a
you
big
do,
union supporter.
and they support you. Our friends at
Wow.
IBEW, the JCEA, have
Yes.
all come out.
1199
and 1199, yes, just to name a few, have all come out and endorsed you.
Yes.
You do have some competition in this mayoral race. You have,
Yes.
of course, former Governor McGreevey, former BOE trustee Musab Ali,
Yes.
and then, of course, Councilwoman Joyce Waterman, and now Councilman Jim Solomon from Ward E has announced his intention to be the next mayor as well. Why do you think the unions are endorsing you over your opponents?
Because of proven performance. I think the difference, and this is not disrespectful to any of the candidates. I know them. I've worked with them. I continue to work with James on issues. But like proven performance. Like when you see my platform, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you I'm going to do this, but this is what I've already done in that area or in that field. So I think that level of experience and background, and then also some of them, some of the names you mentioned, the minute they get in office, Somebody's going to be telling them, run for governor, run for something else.
Right.
Nobody's going to be telling me that. I think you need a mayor who's committed to only want to be the mayor of Jersey City and make a commitment not to even think about running for any other office. Because that's the only way. You got to roll up your sleeves and take care of the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are over time, but I do want to open up the floor to you.
Okay.
And if you want to let the voters know why they should entrust you with their vote in 14 months for Jersey City Mayor.
I would just say, I get things done. That's always been my slogan. As I'm coming here, I have a call from a constituent whose mom lives in a senior building who's having some problems with management. I give my cell phone, my personal cell phone number away, probably to too many people. So no one's going to work harder. No one has the amount of experience hands-on that I have. And I don't think anyone else is willing to make the tough decisions that I am. I think you're going to see throughout this campaign that I'm going to come out and talk about things that others want to make believe don't exist. So.
Yeah. Well, Commissioner Bill O'Day, great to see
Pleasure.
you
Always good seeing
again.
you, Pete.
Absolutely. We look forward to having you on a future show.
Absolutely.
And best of luck
We
in your
should do a
next few months.
debate or something.
Oh, trust me, we are.
I doubt McGreevy will debate. But
You know, we'll soon find out,
we'll
right?
find out.
Appreciate it.
All
Dan.
right, take care. Thanks, though.
All right, folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.